Alright, this is vid number 3, and in this video we will end up putting in the substances into our wells. But to recapture what we have already done, we went over the different parts of Flash. We looked at the menus up here. We mainly have concentrated on the tools, the properties. We will get into the library. We made the basic wells, and we did the plate and the wells. We centered the wells. We built the plus and minus poles. We basically have done the beginnings of this. We've drawn some items and sized them. We have grouped and centered them. We're going to add most, if not all, the remaining layers, and we will add the compounds. We need to count the number of layers we will need, and we are going to use 1 layer for each of the pure substances and 3 for the mixture. And that's going to be a total of 7 new layers. We're going to have 4 pure substances and a mixture made up of 3 of those. We're going to have 1 eventually for text. So basically we're going to be adding 8 layers, and we may need more later, but we can add them if we do. We need to remember to label the layers as we go. We need to remember to save early, save often. And then one of the things that I continuously need to remind myself, lock the layers that are not being used, and then unlock only the one you need at the time. On the next page, we're going to have the steps that you'll follow so that we can recap that, and you will have a list so that you can remember. Okay, here we are with, we started out with a gel layer, a button, and an action layer. We're going to lock the gel layer, and we're going to add 1, and I'm going to call this COMD for compound and compound number 1. All right, now I need to put a keyframe in here because this is where my content will change. When I open and look at this, I'm going to have nothing on the screen, and I will eventually have a text layer that will hold my introductory text material. But my electrophoresis is going to start here. So let us start with a rectangle, and I want to make sure that my stroke and my fill colors are the same. The colors that we use are really, in this case, fairly irrelevant. We just need to want to use 4 different colors. So I'm going to drag out a rectangle. I'm going to highlight it so we know it's selected. And we said we wanted to make this 8 by 23. And that'll make it slightly smaller than the wells that are already there. Now, because eventually we're going to animate these, I need to convert these to symbols. And in this case, I need them to be movie clips. And I'm going to call it COMD1. Not very original, but very useful. Now, let's drag off of that. Notice that this is just a rectangle, no symbols, no nothing. Once I say OK, I get this little dot in the center, and that is one of the things that tells me it is a movie clip. Also, notice if I highlight it, this also tells me I am a movie clip, and it tells me what the name of the movie clip is. Now I'm going to drag this, and I'm going to put this in effectively the second lane. I'm going to leave the top and the bottom empty. I'm going to use the middle layer for my mixture, so I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 for my different compounds. All right, so now I'm going to lock that, and I'm going to save. I'm now going to insert a new layer. Call that compound number 2. Obviously I didn't get a C in there. There we go. So now I'm on my second compound, and I want to insert into the timeline a keyframe, and I've selected it. Now I want a different set of colors. Oh, we'll go with a blue. See if I can get the same blue. Yep. There's my rectangle. I got it the correct width, but I only want it 25. And so I will modify, convert to symbol, compound number 2, and then I'll drag this there. And we'll move it up and over. That's good enough. Okay, lock that. I'll Command S to save. I'll now add a new layer. Compound 3. I will insert timeline, keyframe, make sure it's selected, my rectangle. We'll do, let's do a sort of an orangey gold. And notice it doesn't matter what color or what size I start with, because I'm going to resize it. I'm going to modify, convert to symbol, compound 3, and now I'm going to skip this middle and come down one. I will then lock that layer, add a new one, compound 4, insert, there we go, timeline, keyframe, getting ahead of myself. And we can make this one a nice red color. Eight by 23. Modify, convert to symbol. COMD 4. There we go. And then I'll put this on the bottom. All right, we will lock it and we will save. All right, we now have all of our pure substances, and we now need to fill this up with 3 of them.